Okay, so doing today's video by request. We're talking about the request was anorexia and bulimia, and this is actually the second time I've done this video. I did it and then I watched it and I was like, no, and deleted it. So it was actually really long though. So it was like 35 minutes talking about eating disorders. So I'm gonna do two. Well, probably just one today because it's an off day. I'm gonna do anorexia and then post it, and then probably not tomorrow because I have a lot of psych homework to do because I've been doing this. But later this week I'll do another one and I'll do bulimia. There's actually one for schizophrenia too. I need time to like research for that one. Anyways, okay. Questions. I'm going to them. But what I remembered was, can men get eating disorders? Yes, they can. The DSM says that like in 90% of cases it is females, women, chicks, girls, whatever you want to call us. But yeah, men can definitely get them. Okay. There's some basic like vocab that there were other questions I was asked, and just in case that person watches this video, they were about like me, like my intake and how often I'll do a binge or a purge, and I don't feel comfortable answering a question like that. This video is not to trigger, and it's not for like tips and tricks to help yourself with an eating disorder. I am not pro-Anna, pro-Mia. I don't know. It's just meant to be educational and informative. So, no. Basic like vocabulary that you probably need to know. Amenorrhea is the cessation of menstrual cycles. Your period, ladies, is the loss of your period. Men, not to single you out, but binging is an episode of uncontrollable eating during which a person ingests, I couldn't type, a very large quantity of food. This can be different for different people. Definitely defo. Don't judge me. Like, the DSM refers to a binge as an intake of an above average amount of food in a period of 2 hours or less. Binges are different though. I mean, an above average amount of food is different for different people. For some people that's 3,000 calories in 2 hours, and for some people it's a bag of chips. You know, for me, like, if I eat an entire meal, I freak out. Like, an entire meal is a binge to me. I do eat entire meals, though. I'm working on that. But I'm saying, like, the definition's different for different people. You should eat entire meals. It is healthy. Like 3 meals a day or something, plus snacks. Yeah, I don't know. Purging is a way to make up for a meal. A lot of people think purging is just self-induced vomiting. No. Purging is also abuse of diuretics, laxatives, enemas. Anyways, can men have eating disorders? To answer that one. How many calories is someone supposed to intake a day? I was asked that. It's different. It depends on your exercise and your BMI, which is, I mean, don't feel bad saying that, because a lot of girls will go on a website and find their BMI and they're aiming for like a super low BMI, like, oh, I want a BMI of like 16 when like 17 is like anorexic. But it does though. It depends. It depends on your amount of exercise and activity and your weight and your height and your gender. I'm supposed to have 1,600 a day. But, I mean, for some people, it's like 2,500. Estimate about 2,000. Well, DSM, I can't talk today, guys. DSM criteria for anorexia nervosa. I pulled this from the DSM website, but I have it in my abnormal psych book too. 1 is refusal to maintain body weight above a minimally normal weight for age and height. Self-explanatory. But the refusal, you can do this in 2 ways, which are your 2 subtypes of anorexia. 1 is restricting calories, and another is binging or purging, your 2 types being a restrictive type. Definition is, during the current episode of anorexia nervosa, the person has not regularly engaged in binge eating or purging behavior, self-induced vomiting, or misuse of laxatives, diuretics, enemas, etc. And then it's called binge eating purging type, but I call it binge purge type. It's kind of said I was. During the current episode of anorexia nervosa, the person has regularly engaged in binge eating or purging behavior, self-induced vomiting, or the misuses of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas, etc. 2, there's 4 of these, by the way, and to be diagnosed, you have to meet all 4. Well, I'll explain that at the end, because number 4 has, what's the word I'm looking for? Where some people don't have to meet it, like, exceptions. Number 4 has exceptions. Good job, Leslie. That was my high five to myself. Oh yeah. Number 2 is intense fear of gaining weight even though underweight. Again, self-explanatory. Yeah. Number 3 is pretty much distorted self-image. Undue self-influence of shape or weight on self-evaluation or denial of the seriousness of the current low weight. This is considered extreme. It's like some girls will be like bone skinny and look in the mirror and see a morbidly obese girl. But there are some girls who are super skinny and look in the mirror and see a girl not necessarily fat, but with fat that they themselves do not actually have, if that makes sense. You know, if someone's sitting there all bone, like clearly they don't have fat, but then they'll look in the mirror and they'll see fat. And that's still considered a distorted body image. This is not just like your basic like low self-esteem though. Like you're like, oh, I look fat today, or bad hair day, or it's not, it's bad, guys. To number 4, post-menarche, I don't know that word. It's your amenorrhea. It's your loss of period, and your exceptions are men and women who are not of age yet to have had a period, like who have never had a period, do not have to meet this criterion, but you have to meet all 3 others, and women who have had their periods like have to meet all of them. And I think it's like it's supposed to be like the loss, like you have to have like lost it like 3 consecutive months, I believe. Yeah. Woo! Okay. So, I wanted to show you guys something that I thought was kind of interesting. I have to like make it so I can see my camera so I can see if you guys can see it or not. It's a picture in my abnormal psychology book. Show you really quick. Black and white. What is, okay, yeah, see it? Okay. You saw it. You saw it. Okay, so I'm going to read you like the little quotation bubbly thingy. I keep checking my phone. No one's texting me. A loser. Seeing is deceiving. It says, in one research technique, people look at photographs of themselves through a special lens and adjust the lens until they see what they believe is their actual image. A research participant may change her actual image left from 20% thinner, which is in the middle, to 20% larger, which is on the right. And studies show that I think it was 95% of anorexic women changed it as far right as it would go. Like they saw themselves as 20% bigger than they actually were. Okay, that's what I mean by distorted. Okay, guys. It says anorexia usually comes after like in a diet, like someone excessive dieting, and then it like escalates. Someone counting calories may begin to restrict. Happened to a very different of mine. Yes. Oh, purging can also be exercise. I forgot to tell you that. I just thought of that because that was her. She was intaking her 1,500 calories a day, which is what, for her age and height, she was supposed to be intaking, but she was over-exercising. So she was still considered anorexic. She was very underweight. Becoming thin is the key goal for people with anorexia nervosa, but fear provides their motivation. It's the fear of being fat, of gaining weight. With anorexia, preoccupied with food, thinking, even reading about food, planning limited meals, like it's like consumes your mind. Like I don't know where I read this, but like someone had told me once, like anyone who like says that they're anorexic and hates food like is lying. You don't hate food. Food consumes you. You hate what food does to you, but you're just obsessed with the thought of food all the time. Anyways, think in distorted ways, low opinion of body shape, already covered that. People with anorexia nervosa also display certain psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, insomnia or other sleep disturbances, substance abuse, and obsessive compulsive patterns. Yeah. Then your medical problems. Anorexia nervosa causes medical problems. Women develop amenorrhea. It's the absence of your menstrual cycles. Lowered body temperature, low blood pressure, body swelling, reduced bone mineral density, slow heart rate, metabolic and electrolyte imbalances, heart failure, circulatory collapse, skin becomes rough, dry, cracked, nails become brittle. That's like, none of mine are really long right now, but your nails will like, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it or not. Your nails will like bend, like, when mine are longer, I can bend my nail backwards. And they'll like break off. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of gross. I'm sorry. But my nails like layer. Like they're like falling apart. Loss of hair from scalp. You also can get, I can't say the word, I call it lingo, but I think it's like lanugo, Lanugo, I believe is the spelling. But it's little white hairs, and you get them like everywhere. Like, you get them on like your face and your tummy. They're not good. I don't know why I'm smiling about it. I'm smiling because my book Wasted, she refers to it like her coat of fur. She likes her coat of fur, and she rubs her face. So when I just like, oh, you get it on your face, and I thought, it's not a good thing. You don't want that. I'm not promoting. Please, I smiled, and now I feel like you guys are going to think I'm promoting eating disorders, and I'm not. I fail at life. Okay, well, I'm also going to reference one of the questions I got was, like what to look for in a person. And okay, well, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I was going to a support group for a while for my anorexia, like when I was like first diagnosed. So my mom made me go, and my best friend, I went, and I had to have a journal. And this, I'm big on journaling too. I've got journal, guys, it's good for you. But this was my support group journal, and I had to take it and like take notes, and then sit down with Sherry, who was our group leader. We discussed things, and I took notes on some things that we discussed, and whatever. We went over one day like signs and symptoms of anorexia. Okay, I'm just gonna say like the ones that you could look for, because some of these you're really not gonna notice, like unless you're like stalking the person. If they're counting calories, if you know of that person weighing themselves every day, Like if they tell you like every day, like, oh, like I gained this many pounds, or I lost this many, or like stuff like that. Food restriction and starvation, if you notice they're skipping meals, or that they won't eat a meal, or if they bring up that like I've said, I'm not going to eat breakfast so that I can have dinner, something like that, Self-defeating statements after food consumption, if you notice they're hiding food. Pale or gray appearance to skin, Russell's sign. Okay, if someone has like discolored, bruised, swollen knuckles, also they could have like nicks in their knuckles, it's from purging. Bruising under eyes or around cheeks. Also, if blood vessels in the eyes are popped, that could be from purging. Mood swings, depression, self-mutilation, insomnia. Hair loss, stuff like that. Yeah. And then I wanted to something really interesting that I read in my book Wasted. It is a memoir of a girl with anorexia and bulimia. It's actually a really good book. It's quite triggering. If you haven't read it and you're easily triggered, I don't recommend it. But okay, so anorexics have a very weird relationship with food. Like an example, like I've been struggling like eating like recently, and like my friend Jacob is helping me a lot, and I have like a certain amount of calories I have to reach a day, and usually like it's like a struggle to hit that amount of calories. Today I ate half of a thing of chewy chips and cookies because like I was upset. Like, which is ironic because food upsets me, but like it's just like it's a weird relationship. Food is like the enemy, but then food is comfort. It's I don't know how to explain it, but she does. And I just wanted to read this excerpt from her book because it's kind of explains that weird relationship. Says, I do not remember a time when I was ever certain that the word hungry signified, or a time when I recall eating because I was physically hungry. Hungry did not necessarily connotate a growling belly. Rather, hungry was begging my mother to bake bread, thus securing a proximity to the scent of her perfume, standing on a chair with her hands on my hands as we kneaded the dough. Hungry was wheedling my father into taking me for rainbow sherbet, thus securing his jokes and funny voices and solid shoulder to lean my head on and watch pigeons in the park. Hungry was the same as lonely, and not hungry was the same as scared. Oh, it's funny that she said lonely, because I just texted Jacob and said I was lonely. He didn't reply. Anyways, that was just kind of to explain. Like, it's a weird relationship with food. If you think that you are struggling with an eating disorder, or do you know someone you think is struggling, speak up. Get help. Don't keep it to yourself. It's serious, guys. Like, it can kill. And, she's got another quote. I'm gonna read it to you now. I just gotta, like, anorexia is one of those things that a lot of people don't realize how bad it is until it's too late. So the sooner you can get help, the better, the more treatable. Like, I don't want to find out that one of my followers went untreated and ended up having a heart attack, because that can happen, guys. I'm not gonna be able to find this quote. And in all honesty, like, I'm not gonna try. Oh, it's right there. Okay, never mind. I will try. It says, eating disorders linger so long undetected, eroding the body in silence, and then they strike. The secret is out and you're dying. True that. Speak up sooner. The sooner you speak up, the more treatable it is. It's something that's hard to treat. It's difficult because it's not just gaining weight. It's you have to change your entire like mindset about it. You have to find why you think the way you do about food, what caused those thoughts, trigger foods, safe foods. It's a long process. It's worth it, but it's a long process, guys. So get help. If you need someone to talk to, my ask is open. I'll always reply. I'm pretty addicted to Tumblr. Even at school, I'm on it. In some classes. But, that's really it. If you have questions, again, if you disagree with something, the guy wants to tell me I'm wearing a slut top again. He told me that after I wore a tank top yesterday. My ask box is open. Yeah.